of the United States. Come on, now. Come
Oh,
on, brother. Be fair.
does that says Gulf of the United States? Does it say
It,
that?
it says Gulf of Mexico.
Does this say Gulf of the United States there?
It said, no, it says Gulf of Mexico there.
No, no. It
That's a
says
valid point.
Yeah, Robert's just trolling, so I think we should mute him.
Why would
No,
you
no,
guys
don't mute
do
that.
that?
Robert, just chill out. Hold on.
Come
But
on,
yo,
man.
I didn't think of it like that, Elbow. You make a lot of sense. Mexico is part of America. It only makes sense to call it Gulf of America, dude. It's all inclusive. It includes Mexico and Canada for that matter.
A while
Canada's part
ago,
of America.
a while ago, you guys were having a heated. There was insults thrown at one another earlier, and nobody bawled for muting. But because I bring a different opinion, completely cordial, you guys disagree with me. Mute him. Come on, guys. Be
No,
fair,
you're
That's
man.
one
saying
guy
it's
that
the
said it.
Gulf of United
Don't take it.
States.
That's one guy. Yeah,
Don't take the bait, dude.
and
He
we
was
shot
trolling.
it down
We're
right away. So yeah.
He's
we're
calling
not
it the
muting.
Gulf of the United States, obviously acting in bad faith. Like, if he's
It-
gonna act in bad faith, he should be muted.
no, you're acting in bad faith because you disagree with me. It's called Gulf of Mexico worldwide. It's accepted as
Mexico
No,
that
doesn't
it's
on all
own it.
different
maps.
name, dude.
The
Mexico
United
doesn't
States,
own it,
the
so
United States does not own it. It needs to be
I
yeah,
conceded.
it's
No,
called Gulf
it
of
is owned
America,
by
not Gulf of
My
the
America.
United
God,
States. Yeah.
you guys are just man, guys. Whenever you lose debates, don't mute people. Just
You're
say you
not. We're
lose.
not losing a debate. What are you talking about?
Just say you lose
You're
the debate.
just wrong. Because it
No, I
doesn't
am
say
correct.
Gulf. Does that says Gulf of United States?
It says Gulf of Mexico.
No, it doesn't. Actually, have you looked at Google Maps? It says Gulf of America.
Now it does.
Okay, so it just says Gulf of America then.
So you're the one. So now I can say you're trolling because it was
No,
just
I'm not
changed.
trolling. I'm actually being actually factual right now
I,
because the
I'm
name was changed from the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf
that,
of America. Gulf of
that
Mexico would mean that Mexico owns that area. Gulf of America means that Mexico,
you know
United
what?
States, South America, Central America, and then Canada is part of that.
Yeah, it was just changed, brother. That is what's in dispute.
Okay, so what? So it
Okay.
was changed.
So
But
exactly.
it's not Gulf of the United States.
It's it's the Gulf of Mexico right now. That's
No,
what it
it's
was.
Gulf of
Nah,
America.
nah, Google renamed it already, bro. Google renamed it Gulf of America.
I know.
It should be
I know
Americans.
they did.
It should
I
be
know they did.
Americans with an S.
So once Google makes a change, then it is solid. That's what you
Yup.
guys are saying.
But here's the thing. When I first
Google
saw it, I thought, how arrogant can he be? But
exactly.
after I've thought about it, and we United States has more coastline than Mexico does actually, and it being in America, it does make sense.
But before, you understand that before all that south side was owned by Mexico, and then it was taken over by French,
Yeah.
the United States, and I mean the French. Then United States bought Louisiana, which
Yeah. Remember,
they take it over. And
The
all that. Then
Louisiana
now,
Purchase.
yeah,
yeah,
Louisiana was
because they
purchased by the
were
United
the
States.
were in Florida in 1508, dude. They're way before 1619.
As a
No,
matter of fact, we the United States took Mexico all the way back, but we decided to give it back some of the land.
Bro, the Louisiana
Mexico.
Purchase was huge, dude. Huge purchase. It
call
wasn't just
That
Louisiana.
was French, though. That was French, though.
what we should have done was call it Gulf of America. That's what we should have done.
No,
Part
well,
America,
Americans.
part
How
Mexico.
about Americans with an S?
It's arrogant. Americo.
No, it
How
doesn't
about
have
that?
to be with Americas with an S because the continent of America, it's the continent of America. There's North, South,
Well,
and
it's two of
Central
them.
America.
Well, Central America is not a real continent. That's just a word, like a kind of like a colloquialism we use. But there is no Central American continent. There's no plate. It's part of North America. Mexico is North America.
Doesn't renaming like areas like sound like an imperialistic to you guys a little bit? Just a little bit.
No, we name things all the time. We rename shit every time. What are you talking about?
That is what it doesn't even matter, bro. That's just the nature of the game, dude. It's the way the world's been like for thousands of years, man.
Yeah.
Who
It's
cares?
nothing against America, man. It's just that you guys are the current empire now, and you happen to be failing. You have to accept that, just like the British,
We will
the
never
Romans,
fail.
the Greeks, the Egyptians. Should I continue?
We will never fall, SC.
Well, you might not fall to your knees, like, but you're not gonna be the main dude on the block. You're not anymore, right? As a matter of fact, right now, there's like 3 big dudes. You're no longer number one, and you're gonna have to face the facts, bro. It's as simple as that.
No, we'll just take over and kill some people.
Just one bravado president just shooting his mouth off, it's just gonna make it worse. It's gonna hasten the fall of the empire.
We were weak and still powerful with the last administration.
You're not powerful anymore, bro. Put that through your head.
We were weak. Like I said, I did say we were weak. At its weakest point, we were still more powerful than any nation.
No, you're not more powerful than any nation. That's only in your head, bro. You're not.
No.
Look
it up. Google it right now.
We were
the most powerful nation.
We were strongest under the last
United States is badass motherfuckers. You can't argue with that.
Yeah.
You are, but you're not what you used to be. You're not the only superpower. You're not the United States of the 90s.
We didn't never. Hold on. That's a straw man, because we didn't say we were the only superpower. But what I said was, at our weakest point, we were still badass.
True that.
I'll say
we
are the only superpower.
Yeah, we're weaker now because Russia owns us now, pretty much.
No, you're weaker now because of the military culture, because of the woke.
What?
You're not. You're not a cohesive, bro. This is what your generals and colonels are saying now. If you want to disagree with them, it's up to you, bro. Don't kill the messenger,
Robert. No,
don't hate the messenger,
Robert
bro.
Said. Let's we're disagreeing with what Robert just said, saying that Russia's own us.
Russia owns us, dude. Robert, where do you come up with this stuff, dude?
Yo, big man, the man is only having discussions with Russian president, dog. And he disrespects allies, big man.
You're wrong. He just spoke to Russia and to Putin and Zelensky. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, he literally. They said, why didn't have Zelensky in the meeting with Russia? Oh,
he just spoke with both Zelensky and Putin.
Yes. Well, this is what's going to happen. Ukraine will be owned by Russia.
Is this the part where you say stuff that you haven't researched and you're just guessing?
Yeah, he just talks out of his ass.
Dude, he would rather have another million Ukrainians die before something changes.
No, but what Elbow said is very important, because, and I said it before too, that your what's his name, Hassing, your foreign minister, I think he is now, he spoke some truth and some hope. He said that, look, got to stop this war in Ukraine, and you got to get over the fact that you're not going to go. Well, you have to understand this kind of war and the objectives of the war, right? This is not a full-scale war, first of all. This is like a military operation, like they say. Don't think by any means that the Russians have unleashed all their power and they can't take over Ukraine.
I agree.
I hope that's not what you're thinking, right? They're letting the Ukrainians come to them and they're slaughtering them.
They're being very tactical with it because they don't want to completely obliterate Ukraine. They could have won the war in the first week if they really wanted to, probably. They're being very tactical. And, like the Chinese and the Russians, they're always thinking
Wait a second.
Russia's natural resources. Name one country besides the U.S.
None.
Yeah, but
Zero.
Russia is getting aid from other countries like North Korea in the Ukraine.
China.
Yeah, I know.
They're not getting aid, bro. They're selling their oil abroad. Everybody's helping Russia.
I don't know, guys. This is just a big old muddy mess we're talking about.
It's not a mess, bro.
More than 100,000 men, too, by the way.
It's not a mess. It's very simple. The war in Ukraine would have never happened if it wasn't for NATO encroaching close to Russia. If you dispute that, then you don't know your history. I'm sorry, man.
Ukraine is fighting for its freedom, SC. The war wouldn't have happened if Russia didn't invade.
No, that's a talking point, bro.
No,
No,
Ukraine
it's
is in
it's a
this
fact of
mess.
life.
If Ukraine was
Russia
an
takes
independent
across the fucking
country,
border.
yeah, if Ukraine was an independent country, what should Russia have to say with who they go with?
but it doesn't matter though. The West is freedom, and the people is democracy. So NATO can encroach. We should support it
Right? It can
into the
who's recently was in Victorian
Signed
England,
as a treaty,
USA.
weapons after the fall of the Soviet Union. Russia promised to respect their borders, so
exactly.
Ukraine would give them up. And what happened? Ukraine gave them up, and Russia invaded.
You guys
So don't
like,
talk about broken promises. Don't talk about broken promises.
did you know, first of all, did you guys know that Russia wanted to join NATO? How many people here are aware of that?
I'm aware of that.
So this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is all unnecessary. This is all
Yeah, it
us
is.
playing with the Russian bear. You understand that?
Russia should keep its promises, is what it comes
listen,
down
bro.
to.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. It's all about. You didn't speak at all. Correct.
The fact that Yanukovych didn't want to make a deal with the EU because they shackled them to incredible loans and payback options. So on the table was a deal with the EU or a deal with Russia. And Yanukovych decided for his people, he'd go with Russia. They weren't going to have that. If undermined, the plan was to break Russia up into five separate units, separate parts. I got a video of a guy who was recently was put up. There was a poll to put him up in charge of the SBO, the like the KGB of Ukraine. I mean, and he was in a BBC documentary back in the time of Maidan. He was one of the kind of right-wing hooligan football groups. And
Yeah, I wonder how many people know about that. The Donbass, that area you're talking about, how the Russians were mistreated, how they weren't allowing them to speak Russian. I wonder how many Americans know about that.
Yeah, you look at
Russians were never stopped from speaking Russian.
Look at the massacre in Odessa.
That's right. That's right. How many people know about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to look into stuff more. Like, don't go with the talking points. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is important. It is important. Like, know about things like there was an actual treaty where Russia promised to respect borders and then broke it. That's an important thing. That's an actual signed treaty. That isn't hearsay. That isn't some backroom deal. That's an actual fucking treaty that was signed.
And they did sign a treaty that allowed. Russia did sign a treaty. It was, I think, Gorbachev that did allow our troops to move eastward into Germany, and so that is an actual treaty that they signed that does allow our troops to move eastward.
Why did America destroy the pipeline, which fed Germany, one of their allies? Why would they, ruin the economy?
That hasn't been proven yet.
We heard. I guess it was Israel that did that. But regardless, literally the National Archives.
There's a lot of evidence and proof about that.
It might have been a cooperative effort between Israel and America. It doesn't matter. We don't really know, dude, for sure. But unlike there was a verbal agreement. It's on record. The National Security Archive. You can look it up. There's declassified documents that shows generals. You have James Baker gave informal. Now it wasn't written. Like I said, it wasn't written. Gave informal assurance to the Soviet president Mikhail Gorbachev that NATO would not expand eastward. However, these were not formal agreements or treaties. Over time, NATO did expand which has been significant point of contention in U.S.-Russia relations. And not only did we expand, we started inserting puppeteers, right? We put a puppet known as Zelensky, and we started putting embassies and military presence in Ukraine, dude. That was the last straw that broke the camel's back. That's why Russia took the offensive. And now he's demonized by the West for taking the offensive and throwing the first punch. I think he's justified for that. And yes, he's a dictator. Yes, he was part of the KGB. So what?
Exactly. Lion laid it out exactly how it went down.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at the Donbass. Look at what happened during the Donbass wars in 2015. Look into that and how that all started.
Zelensky was
started because of Russia and fostering a guerrilla war. That's how.
Let's let Elderbear get in. You guys cut him off twice now.
You're pretty low, Elderbear.
Sorry. Zelensky was a comedian. He had a show called Servant of the People. That's what his party is called now. His political party is called Servant of the People. And he played like a school teacher who, by some strange occurrence, became the president. That was in the comedy show. And then life imitated art, and his backer, Kolomoisky, funded his political campaign with the help of, and also financed Azov Battalion, Kolomoisky, and got Zelensky put in place. You know, this all came out of a coup by the USA with Victoria Nuland. Look at Victoria Nuland and look at to get rid of Yanukovych.
Somebody knows what they're talking about.
And one other thing that no one's brought up yet is that any treaty that was signed back during Gorbachev, that was a treaty with the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union does not exist anymore.
Bro, I didn't say. Did you hear anything I said, dude? I didn't say anything. Right, I didn't say anything about anything being signed. It was a verbal agreement, an oral oath. But somehow the West acts like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's not in writing, so let's just take over and expand. Bro, that's effed up.
Yeah, but also, like in March 2022, there was an agreement. They came to an agreement, Russia and Ukraine, in Istanbul, that Ukraine would be neutral, wouldn't have nuclear weapons, wouldn't join NATO. The demilitarization and the Nazi problem really, I guess, wasn't settled. But they had an agreement. You know, they were going to sign.
Yes.
But Boris Johnson was sent in from the UK and told them, no, you don't sign. We're going to go to war.
That's right.
Totally
or
unnecessary.
Exactly. Yep.
Bro, this guy knows what he's talking about.
There won't be any men left in Ukraine. In fact, hardly any. They go around the streets. The army now go around the streets, and they're trying to get like to swimming pools and people and just grabbing guys and pushing them.
They're going in restaurants and bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elderbear is correct.
With no training, and they're cannon fodder. The elite troops are in the background, really. They're not really on the front line getting slaughtered.
So this is what America does, bro.
Left,
we did it. We did it with the Arab Springs. We did it with Venezuela, right? We do coup d'etats, and we insert our own puppets on our behalf. And people act like they were duly elected. But the thing is, in Ukraine, if you talk to the people there's been independent journalists that are in Ukraine on foot asking random people in the streets what they think about all this, right? Half of them are like the progressive in America, pro-Biden. They're on the 8th booster. You know what I'm saying? They're all brainwashed by the media. They think that Zelensky's really their man. They're completely they're drinking the Kool-Aid. The other half of the Ukrainians are aware that Zelensky's an American bitch puppet, right? They want to actually be part of Russia. They want to be absorbed by Russia. And they're against the transgenderism, all that nonsense. And they know that the media is lying to them, dude. And it's a civil divide. It's a civil divide. Now, I don't know the exact percentage. Numbers. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's close to half of the people are awake.
Don't say it's 50-50 if you don't know the exact percentage.
Bro,
don't say it's 50-50.
Bro, it's just like in America. It's just like in America, dude. There's a civil divide in America.
Like I see.
It's like one-sided, though, Tori. Really sound like you're really biased on your opinion with it and what media you're watching to get your information.
I watch
You
it all.
guys are so emotional, though. Like,
Yes,
your
please. Can we
side.
tone it down?
Yeah, but you have to understand that there are also a large amount of Ukrainian people are also, they're very patriotic. They're going to fight, and they'll also believe that story too. There's going to be a percentage of them.
Yeah,
It's
Zelensky.
a very corrupt country. The elites, those who have money, are in the West. They've all moved to the West where there's no
yeah.
war.
Do
And there's
you think that?
and there's little towns and places there that are now like tourist destinations. They were poor places, and the people with the money are there, and they've got their spas, and they're eating good cake, and
Do you think that Putin anticipated the resistance that he got when he tried to invade?
No, that's
I
clearly they made a mistake on that part.
Yeah, I don't think they could have taken it that quickly, like people think. I think, maybe if they'd have given immense force, but that wasn't the plan, really. And I guess they made some mistakes in the beginning.
They thought they were going to
plan,
march in, and all the people would be for them. I think they miscalculated on that. But don't think they went in full military force to take over and they got whooped. That's not what happened either.
No, and they're not. They're winning now, even despite NATO and US arms and support.
Oh yeah, not only are they
winning.
winning. Yeah, not only are they winning, if we're to believe what we're hearing, right? Not only are they winning, they won the war already, and they're outproducing all of NATO, that includes America and arms. They're outproducing all of them combined.
Yeah.
How dare you, SE? That's not true.
I heard you talk
I
about
didn't hear that
BRICS.
on the news.
Yeah, you got to look at BRICS as well. I've heard it's SE talk about BRICS. He knows. It's a massive economical force of power, of countries that are joining BRICS. It's
that's the economical power. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a threat to the Fed and the dollar.
And you guys realize too that majority of Ukrainians are bilingual. They speak both Ukrainian and Russian, and like a third speaks straight up Russian.
Yeah. I mean, Zelensky doesn't speak Ukrainian. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Russian. Zelensky's a Russian speaker. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Isn't he Jewish? Isn't he Jewish?
He's Jewish. Kolomoisky's Jewish.
Yeah, I knew he was Jewish.
Zelensky's got a £35 million mansion in Florida. He'll be okay. He's got.
I think
billions
Zelensky does speak Ukrainian.
But he's a Russian. He's a natural Russian speaker. A lot of difference.
Yeah, he speaks Ukrainian as well.
He's probably bilingual, but maybe his primary language, his first language, is Russian.
Yeah.
Most people are bilingual, but a third of them are Russian. Like they literally speak just straight up Russian.
You know that the Russians accuse them of being Nazis, right? That whole regime.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that was part of their rhetoric to justify what they're doing.
And it was somewhat true. There is that one brigade that was the Azov Brigade or whatever. They were Nazis, but that's it.
There's some truth there, but not if you. Okay, after World War II, just like we had Operation Paperclip, and a lot of the German Nazis came to the America. In South America, a lot of them went to Ukraine. They literally established themselves in Ukraine, had families, have children, and there's descendants living in Ukraine that are directly descendant of Nazi Germany, bro. That's a fact. Anybody that denies that, they haven't looked into it.
There are also Nazis in Germany, right? There are Nazis in Poland. What the hell is that?
Everywhere.
What's that for?
Yes. Nothing. But the thing is, there are people living in Ukraine that are fond of that ideology. They really are. They still hold dearly to that ideology.
Yeah, there are Nazis in the States. So what? I mean, it isn't a large percentage of the population. You don't invade.
Dude, not like
there's a Nazi in Canada. Why don't we invade them?
Bro,
right?
There's neo-Nazis. Yes, there's neo-Nazis in the American jail system, right? That tattoo themselves with Nazi symbols. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about actual descendant of Nazis living in Ukraine, not neo-Nazis that want to be Nazis.
Most of Germany was Nazi when it was defeated. So I'm sure there are millions and millions of people in Germany that are descendants of Nazis.
So hold on, I
That
want to get
same
this
logic.
clear. I want to get this
Azov
clear.
have
Are you
political
advocating?
position.
I don't know. Clearly, you can hear me speaking. Lion, are you advocating for going after Nazi descendants?
No, but I do advocate going after Nazis that actually are fond of Nazi ideology and racial superiority, which you will find in Ukraine. There are people in Ukraine right now.
So hold on, let me get this right, because
right.
you're monologuing. So basically, it has to do with the superiority thing, right? So you don't like the fact that there's an ideology where this race of people claim to be the superior race, and you're advocating for going after that, right?
I'm advocating going after any people that claim racial superiority, whether it's the Black Hebrew Israelites or rabbinical Jews or Nazis in Ukraine. Yes.
So let me get this right. So we've got another group of people that claim to be God's chosen people, the supreme chosen people. So you're advocating for going after those people as well?
Did you not just hear what I just said, bro?
Well, I heard what you said. I'm trying to make sense of it, because right now it sounds like a justification for war, but then we've got the whole Israel-Palestine issue, and you seem to be kind of like on one side.
Dude. Nope, not at all. You're trying to corner me. You're trying to corner me, and you're trying to catch me in an inconsistency. I already gave you right that regardless of the racial superiority, whether it's rabbinical Jews or Nazis in Germany or Black Hebrew Israelites or anybody for that matter, neo-Nazis, if they're radical and they're killing and they're taking over, we should stop them. Absolutely.
Well, it just seems weird because America's Israel's fucking lapdog, yet all of a sudden it's like, let's go after Ukraine and other places where these Nazis could be. I don't know, man.
They're not after the Nazis. They're after Russia and its resources. I mean, Azov's political arm is a Svoboda party, means the Freedom Party. You know, they have political position. They have a lot of power. You know, and you know, Zelensky's caught between a rock and a hard place, between the West and a gun of the right wing. You know, he's in a difficult position.
Yeah, apparently Ukraine is run by oligarchs. We all know what that is, right? When Russia fell, and still some of that going on. In other words, men of power that control certain industries, right? That's how Ukraine is run right now, and the money runs downhill. All these guys are taking the money that the states is giving them, and they're buying their mansions and putting young people to kill.
How much did Zelensky say was missing the other day? They couldn't audit. How many? 11 billion?
Yeah, there was a crazy number. Yeah.
Missing. Yeah. And most of the leaders have been like that. Timoshenko was the same.
It's a weird dichotomy that you have in Ukraine, because there are these secretive neo-Nazis and there's also Jews, and there's like some tension there. Like people act like it's just propaganda. Oh, there's nothing to see here, folks. And that's just not the case, bro.
But I thought we're supposed to be subordinate to the ruling governments, like no matter where they are or who they are. Like,
no,
why now do we have to rebel?
Bro. Here we go again. I told you before. Once it conflicts with God's law, that's where you stand up, bro. I've told you this before, bro. And you're strawmanning me again, over and over and over.
It's God's chosen people, though,
bro. No, dude. I'm not, dude. I'm not a Zionist, dude. I don't understand where people like. I don't know, dude. It's a helpless cause. You guys don't listen, bro. You hear what you want to hear.
Aren't the American Christian Reich, aren't they God's chosen people too?
No, dude. No. I'm against the evangelicals that support Israel unconditionally. I'm against that's all goes back to the Rothschilds propaganda, where they started printing Bibles in the footprints there was notes. Look up John Darby, look up what's this other guy's name? Anyways, it don't even matter, bro. It's propaganda, dude.
Yeah, I mean, most religious groups believe that they're God's chosen people in some form or another, it seems.
Hey, by the way, they confirmed RFK.
Did you hear anything else about Hafsep? It seems to be we got one guy that talks sense. Like, it's the first American politician I've seen in a while that I said, this guy's actually talking logic.
Dude, the all Trump's nominees that he's trying to get into office are legit actual freaking people, dude. They're not like freaking bureaucrats.
Oh, and the border guy. I like the border guy as well.
Tom guy?
The southern guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Cash Patel, which is gonna be for the FBI.
No, not Patel, bro. The guy that is in charge of the border. Who said when they asked him?
No, Tom.
Is that him?
Borders are. No, I'm saying now, but Kash Patel, which is gonna be the FBI director. That's another
Yeah, he seems the Indian guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like him too, to be honest with you. Like, yeah.
And then
of course we could be fooled, right? But yeah,
that's true. And then they just confirmed RFK, which he's gonna push for all these health shit.
Now RFK, I'm not sure about, bro. To be honest with you, I don't know.
I like his health thing though, man. On other things, I disliked him, but I mean for his health ideology are actually pretty nice. But he can't be he could like any politician could definitely do a flip flop.
Yeah. Like I said, I have hope in a few things.
Operation Dorito.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's kind of hard to listen to.
It's hard to listen to, yeah.
But look, the border thing, that's spot on, right? You can't just have an open border. The woke movement, it's destroying your country, so how could you be against that, right?
The food.
I mean, there's a lot of good things.
Yo, so I meant so you got John Darby and Schofield, dude. That's where the whole Zionist movement started in America. It was through propaganda started by the Rothschilds printing press. So they had Schofield print, they literally printed Bibles and handed them out in America. And that's how you ended up.
Don't forget Schofield was the name of the main character on Prison Break.
yeah. Right. When he says Schofield, that's the first thing that came to my mind, man.
My bad. I got a phone call. But yeah, Schofield. Look up Schofield and Darby. Those are the guys who basically established evangelical churches in America. And the whole doctrine was Zionism.
You guys are on the Bible still?
No,
bro, no.
Politics.
We have a mix of politics, little scripture, not too much. It wasn't really scripture. It was more of a Daiso saying.
No scripture.
Yeah. It was more of a Daiso saying that rabbinical Jews that something that Lion said about going after anybody that think they're superior, yada yada yada, and trying to kill people. And then Dyson wanted to come in with the Bible baiting. Well, not really Bible baiting.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I know a lot of you guys like the Bible. It's starting to get to me, man. It's every day, multiple times a day. Like, can we chill for 5 minutes?
Bro, we're not talking about the Bible, dude. Stay for 5 minutes and listen, dude.
It was coming.
You were earlier. Yeah, you
what,
were
at 4
earlier.
in the morning, dude? When nobody's on here, dude? You're gonna complain about that, bro?
Jeremy.
Really?
Let's get into it.
I did not complain. I'm saying, just can we chill a little bit, please?
Bro, dude, you're complaining over nothing, bro.
Let's start from Genesis 1, please.
Yeah, he's just heading it off, is all.
Well, he is right, though. I mean, we've been over, like, I came in a few times myself and I said, oh, boy, here we go. We're still talking about this.
Well, let's talk about measurements of drop over distance then. Would that be better?
Yay!
You don't have any. You don't have a measurement of which way the light's bending.
It's level horizontal.
Sweet. So let's talk.
Now we're talking. Is level
You go right
horizontal.
into a refraction bullshit that you don't have a measurement of.
Level is horizontal.
Yes, left lane. Thank you. So you finally agree, left lane.
All right,
Nice.
Genesis. Take it from Genesis 1, Elbow.
I knew that.
No, but we were going hard, dude, talking about Ukraine and Palestine.
I was listening.
But yeah, we're not talking about the Bible. Dude. We're not. I don't even know the last time we brought up the Bible.
Bro, it was a few hours ago this morning. It's all good. I'm just saying, like, it's really starting to get to me, but
Dude, I don't know, dude. We haven't even talked about it for real. Go look up. I don't know. Rewind the clock. Dude.
Hey,
I was listening this morning. I know.
Let me
If
ask
you don't want to
you
talk
to
about it,
you.
don't mention it, because now you're making the topic paradoxically about it.
I was wondering if Jesse
I walked
spoke
in.
up. I wondered if
And
he
we
had
started talking
another
about evangelical and
observation.
people printing Bibles and
He
something.
doesn't.
So
He probably has observations of things in the air, but doesn't have any measurements of it. So let's move on.
Oh, he's got measurements. I've seen them.
Since you asked about observations in the air, there has been recently some interesting developments about a flat earther who used a device that he calls a theodolite, which is actually not exactly a theodolite, but he measured an elevation angle to a mountain. And he also used the position of a star as it eclipsed behind the mountain and stellarium to determine the elevation angle of the mountain by checking the elevation angle of the star at the point that at that moment in time using stellarium. So I used stellarium a couple days ago, and I measured the elevation angle of the sun with a real theodolite and compared it to stellarium, and I was 3 arc seconds off. So stellarium seems to be quite accurate. I'll post that infographic.
you guys measured it in the angle to an apparent position. You don't have the actual position because you'd have to know which way the light was bending, which you don't have a measurement of.
Well, but the key point here is that however it does it, stellarium can accurately tell you the actual physical angle that you have to point a soda straw at a star at any given point in time. How it does it, we don't know. We can just say we don't know how it does it, but the point is it does it. It can accurately predict the physical angle that you have to point a soda straw to see a star through that soda straw at a given point in time. And the point is, Dr. Heffron used stellarium and the angle to the star to determine the angle to the mountain. So we do know the actual physical elevation angle to Dr. Heffron's mountain, and it matched the globe model, not the flat Earth.
No, you know the actual angle to an apparent position, the apparent position of the mountain. Like I said, you don't have a measurement of which way the light's bending. All your long distance optical bullshit means nothing because you don't have there's no actual measurement there.
So you're saying that basically, due to the way things appear, Earth does appear as a globe, even if it's flat?
Do you have a measurement of an actual position anywhere, or no, just apparent positions and no measurement of which way the light's bending?
Well, I have an actual position of the angle of the light entered my telescope at. And I have an actual
and the actual position of an apparent position. You have the actual angle of an apparent position. That's awesome, but that doesn't really mean much because we need actual positions with actual angles, not apparent positions.
So you think the light curved on the way from Dr. Heffron's mountain to his eye?
I think you don't have a measurement.
Well,
in fact, I know you don't have a measurement.
I think we should just call it straight and go with that.
Measurement. If you want to call it straight, we're going to debunk the globe in 5 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You want to call it straight? You want to say we look? You want to say we look out and that's where the shit is? You sure? I know you don't.
We don't know we're a marine layer.
You just want to do it for this one, and then when I bring up one, you're going to say no refraction. That's
No,
what
any
kind of stupid
observation
fucking
up in
game
the
we've been
air,
playing for the past 5 years.
mountaintop to mountaintop would be good. Down on the
Let me
marine
ask.
layer, no, I don't want to do that.
That doesn't work for you
Left
either
lane.
because Canagoo would debunk you instantly.
Left lane. Do straight lines curve?
No, Canada does not debunk us instantly.
It's geometrically impossible. Canagoo is geometrically impossible without adding refraction.
Oh,
It
without
will debunk
refraction.
your globe instantly.
Left lane. Does straight line curve?
You got fucking nothing, dude.
Hey, Jeremy, are you aware that there's still 8,000 missing feet on Canagoo?
Why does
Yeah,
left lane does
are
not
you
answer my
aware it would
question?
debunk? Hold on, Elbow.
I'm
Are you
asking
aware it
left
would
lane. Like,
debunk the
hold on, but
globe?
I asked, hold on, because I mean, I asked that question before. The board decided to ask you a question, and it was pointing to it goes with what he said with a straight line. So does straight line curves? Left lane.
He gets everything wrong. Why are you
Uh,
trying to even fuck with him?
yeah, I get it all wrong. Sorry, Elbow.
Do
You
straight
get a
line
lot
curve?
of
Yes or no?
it.
Is that's you can't answer that question? Nothing.
I don't respond to that because I don't think it means anything.
Oh, okay. So now you don't. Now straight doesn't mean anything for you. Okay.
So, Jeremy, in answer to your question, I am aware that a million things debunk a straw man of the globe model.
No, left lane wanted to draw straight lines to shit, and it would debunk the globe model. That's what he wanted to do. It's not a straw man. That's what left lane wanted to do just now. You still don't have a measurement. You don't have nothing.
Well,
But
even
why is there 6,000 feet missing?
8,000.
8,000 feet missing. I mean, that's a mile and a half below where it should be.
Okay, so you're cool with drawing a straight line to that, even if it debunks the globe model, just as long as it debunks us. You're going to debunk the globe radius.
No, I just want to look at it.
No, I know.
Take the measurements and see which model it more closely resembles.
Okay, well, it's not going to match yours, and it's not going to match mine. So you're willing to debunk? Are you willing to debunk the globe just to debunk me right now?
Let's just say that we don't agree on whether refraction would happen, but what we can agree on is even if light was straight, then Earth is still a globe, just slightly larger, but it sure isn't flat.
So you are happy. So you are happy with debunking us. You would debunk the whole mainstream model, throw all your whole shit out of whack. They'd have to reprint the textbooks, just so long as you could debunk some random guy on Discord. That's what you want to do. That's the stupid fucking game we're playing. Because that's the stupid game we're playing because you don't have a measurement. You came here with nothing.
Oh, I come
That's
hard
exactly
with
what they want to do.
far more than nothing. But no, it's very reasonable for me to say, you know what? If you don't understand or agree with refraction, let's say for the sake of discussion that it doesn't happen. We can deal with that later. The evidence is that refraction does happen, but we can get to that later. For the sake of discussion, even if light is perfectly straight all the time, we still have a globe. It's just a
Yeah, you
little
led
bit
with an ad
larger
hom.
than
You
it
led with
needs
an
to
ad
be.
hom. How long are you going to go for? Because you led with an ad hom and it was bullshit.
How does
I don't. It's
refraction
not that I
happen
don't.
on
It's not that
only
I
two
don't
wavelengths?
understand. Hold on. It's not that I don't understand or disagree with refraction. With refraction, you just don't have a measurement of it, and you came here thinking you had a measurement.
Well,
Please don't leave. Please don't leave with ad homs. That's brutal, and I got to sit there and wait through your whole thing.
but we do have measurements from which we can with a high level of confidence, conclude which way refraction is bending the light.
You
It's like
don't have any measurement of which way the light's bending. You just don't.
that's like saying I don't have a measurement of my own weight because when I step on the bathroom scale, it does some calculations and some transforms inside to give me the value in pounds or kg or whatever. It's like saying that that's not a measurement because
That's
It's
non-analogous.
not like that at all. Yeah, it's not like that at all. You have a measurement of your weight when you step on the scale. When you're doing your long distance shit, you don't know which way the light's bending because you don't have a measurement of it.
Jesse, does your scale work only 2 days a year?
So, Jeremy, do you
Oh,
do you disagree with the mainstream claim that light bends towards the more dense region in an air density gradient?
Do you have the medium gradient measurements for that?
Do you have a measurement of? I'm not in here claiming the light's bending a certain way. You are. Do you have a measurement of which way the light's bending, or no?
I gave you my question. When you're ready to answer it, I'll be waiting.
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree. Now, do you have a measurement of which way it's bending? There's my question.
I have a measurement of which way the bending changes when the density gradient is increased, and it bends towards the more dense region when you increase the density gradient.
So no, the answer is no. You don't have a measurement of which way the light's bending.
I haven't done LIGO myself. Okay, it didn't fit in my backyard, and I didn't have the budget.
All right. Well, let us holler at us when you got a measurement.
I think a better analogy is we don't need to measure the temperature of water if we know the pressure. We see that it's boiling, so we know the temperature of the water.
So still no measurement of which way the light's bending, and no measurement overall, because that measurement would be reliant on the whole process.
Yeah, we don't need it. Is the point.
So, Jeremy,
you don't need a measurement. I hear you. That's what I'm saying. You don't have a measurement. You're saying you don't need it. That means obviously you don't have it. So there we are. You don't have a measurement. Good, cool.
I don't think the water.
Genesis 1. Let's go.
Yo, I don't think the water boiling to tell you the temperature, like, I don't think that's analogous either. Takes like a ton of energy to make water go from 211 degrees to 212 degrees. And I mean,
And
like,
it only happens 2 days a year. Why are we looking past that? Because you can predict exactly when it's going to happen, and you guys are expecting us to accept your evidence against it when you wouldn't accept the same thing.
We didn't bring up Canagoo. Y'all brought up Canagoo.
Yeah, I know. If you would have listened to me instead of interrupted, you would have seen that I said you're expecting us to accept evidence that you guys would not accept yourself in any other situation.
I brought up Canagoo because you said, let's do straight lines. And I said, that would debunk the globe model. You said, not from high mountains. And I said, yes, we have Canagoo. And then you guys wanted to debunk me and debunk the globe radius at the same time. And that's where we left off with Canagoo, I think.
It's typical. You guys just care about winning.
Well, there's no reasonable amount of refraction that would result in a flat Earth, though. Like, you understand that much, right?
There could be enough refraction for the Earth to be flat off of that. We don't know because we don't have an actual position because no one has the measurement of which way the light's bending. Come with a measurement. That way we actually come with a measurement. That way we. Hold on. Somebody's like hot micing or something. Hold on.
it was 50. He fixed it.
Yeah. Come with an actual measurement, and then we could talk until. But up until now, you just admitted you don't need a measurement. You don't have a measurement. We're good.
But we don't need that specific measurement because we know that no amount of refraction, no reasonable amount of refraction, at least with what we know how the world is, would result in that observation being caused by that much refraction on a flat Earth.
You don't know it because in order to know it, you would need a measurement, which you don't have.
No, in order to know that, we would need to know how optics and refraction work, which we do know.
What would happen if you triangulated this? Just regular Pythagorean theorem. You would get some crazy number, right? So why would you try to do that with anything else? With objects in the distance and near the horizon. Like, why would you do that?
We can do that with objects. That's how we measure the heights of like tall buildings, right? We don't drop a tape measure down the side of it.
No, I know that's what you do with the satellites. You use glass, you can use optics to try to measure things in the distance. Instead of physically, you can't physically measure, so you use optics that are prone to all types of errors. But you act like that's because you have this dip it affirms the globe model because you have a horizontal dip.
But we understand those errors and we can account for them.
No, you can't because you haven't made a measurement. That's what I'm trying. All you're doing is you're correcting the dip to affirm the globe, dude.
We have made several measurements in the lab. We understand the refractive index of a whole ton of materials, just about all of them, including air at different temperatures. We understand these things. These aren't mysteries.
In the lab. In the lab, yes, you don't have any measurements when it comes to actually doing it in the atmosphere. There could be other variables at play. Other variables is the reason why you can't say you can 100% prove something in science. This is literally the reason why you guys say we can't prove things in science, but you're trying to say no, we know how it works. Except when I say we know how water boils, when I say we know how water boils, you guys are like, no, there could be other variables, but you want to look hundreds of miles away and say you know how the light's bending, but not admit how water boils. It's kind of silly. It's pretty silly, honestly.
That's exactly the point. You misunderstand the argument with water boiling. We say to suppose that there is some other variables, like some magical boil-o that's just always present whenever we apply heat, is a ridiculous thing to assume a priori. Nobody does that. You guys.
No, you guys are the ones who say we can't prove shit in science because there could be unknown variables. And here you are, trying to tell me that no, there could be no other unknown variables. We know how the light's bending. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off.
I'm saying there's no reason to assume unknown variables, just like we don't assume there's unknown variables with water boiling. You guys don't do that. We don't do that. We can know that heat boils
every time
water, even though there might be some magical other variable that we haven't considered.
They don't know that. They say you can't know that 100%.
Sure, you can know that.
100%.
You're doing this percentage thing again. Like, why do you keep going to that?
100%, right? Do you know it or no? Do you know it?
Knowledge. Yes, we know it. Knowledge is not 100%.
Somebody's got to hold on.
By the same reason, like if you were trying somebody to murder,
your mic's terrible, dude. Your mic's terrible, 50. You got a whole bunch of.
I'm on an iPad. Is it really terrible? I think there's the water running. But just like whenever you convict somebody of murder, beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt. So that's what I would say. It's beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt. 99.9% or whatever.
I wouldn't even put a number on. I mean, Jeremy wants to, but.
Yeah, I want to make sure we know 100%. Not bullshit knowing where it's 75, where you 75%
if you say
know or 80%
you say
know. I want to make sure we all. Hold on, guys. I want to make sure we all the way know for sure. And 100% is how you know all the way for sure. And the reason why you guys say we can't prove things as science and it's only 99.9 is because there could be unknown variables. Except for this instance right now where you guys want to try to prove something, you know how it works.
What do you do with the theodolite measurements, the so-called measurements that don't line up, that don't affirm the globe model? What do you do with those measurements?
You figure out why they're wrong.
You throw them out?
Wow, you figure out why they're wrong. You hear this guy? You figure out why they are wrong.
Yeah,
and that's why
it'd be like it would be just like that dude that got the black swan for 3 months. He was out there observing, obstruction, and then one day he sees this looming, distorted oil rig that he takes a snapshot of, and now that's presented as flat Earth evidence. That one I would throw out because I've got 3 months of observation that contradict it.
Flat Earth truth.
You know what's funny about that is that's the actual textbook definition of the black swan fallacy, where you ignore all the contradictory evidence. The evidence of the other 364 days of the year. You pick one and you ignore everything else. That is the definition of a black swan fallacy. So the black swan is a black swan fallacy.
Wait, wouldn't it be like cherry picking?
Stupid. The black swan is the black swan. Oh, you're saying that the observation is a fallacy because it ain't got refraction?
Yeah, the black swan, it's a fallacy because he's not accounting for the other evidence. He's disregarding the evidence from 364 days of the year. He only got the picture one day of the year.
Yeah, I would agree. He doesn't know where the actual oil rig is. Nobody's got a measurement of refraction. Come with a measurement, and then we got something.
Would you borrow a theodolite from Jesse? I was trying to start this program where we lease theodolites to flat earthers. I
can
we have them, bro.
And go make the black swan measurement. Go make the black swan measurement. You don't have a measurement of which way the light's bending inside that measurement, making it not a measurement.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rentis Center already took your idea too. I think they already rent the theodolites.
Do they? Well, I mean, we could probably do it a little bit cheaper.
You end up paying
Rent a center? You think
You're
rent
gonna
a
end up
center
paying
for theodolite?
$15,000 for a theodolite there.
Well, United Rentals. Sorry, United Rentals.
Real quick, yeah. So didn't Taylor rent a theodolite recently and do some measurements with Jesse? I'm curious.
The community bought one for her, I think.
She's here. She could speak, Left Lane.
Globbers. Hey guys, sorry, I just kind of woke up. Yeah. So Jesse said was the one that told me to get one, and then Peter on Twitter and other Globers said he would pay for it, or a lot of it, and then there's a couple other people that pitched in and took some measurements, and I posted some of the data on my Twitter.
So you have a theodolite that you've taken measurements with?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
And did the results affirm the globe, or what? What happened?
I've had variable results. I don't know. There has been results said from the globe.
They're varying though. You're getting.
That's very honest of you. Sorry, Jeremy.
When you say they're variable, you mean like the positions are changing, or are they always in the same spot?
Like, things can change throughout the day, and there was a paper I just read about how things actually can get shorter throughout the day. They were tracking this mountaintop, and they were trying to do predictive programming on an AI machine about being able to basically predict the optics from the refraction, like based on the weather, we'll track the refraction, then we'll know how things change throughout the day. And so they basically put a tracker, like a AI tracker on top of this mountain, found throughout the day it got shorter, and throughout the night it got taller. So I haven't taken any measurements at night yet, but yeah, that's a real thing. And I'm trying to figure it all out, to be honest, but things can change. And I have measured things during the day that match a globe and a miniature globe on the horizon because the water was warmer than the air, and that's just what you'll have happen. So optics are funny. If you've seen Skunk Bay.
I'm sorry. One last question. What was the greatest differential? Like, in arc seconds. Like, what's the most extreme from the globe prediction?
Like discrepancy?
Yeah. Like that you would have to
remember.
correct for to make it fit the globe. Like, what was the greatest error or
It
differential?
wasn't much. What was that? Maybe 50 seconds total for each model between each. I mean, I don't really remember the exact numbers, but yeah.
Sorry.
I don't think it was that much. Jesse helped me do the numbers, and they're on my Twitter too. If you want to go check some of them out, but yeah, I've got things that match each model.
So we need more of this. We need more of this. We need more flat earthers with theodolites.
Were you able to get any data sets with a low p-value that matched one or the other?
Well, I didn't have a chance to repeat each location that many times in order to get like a good standard deviation.
Understood.
And what I would like to do in the future is do more times throughout the day because I wasn't aware of this whole night and day effect that's happening.
Yeah, definitely. I actually just did my first off-home site angle measurement of the year a couple days ago. It's just been so cold and I've been so busy.
Jesse, would you lease me a theodolite? Like if I gave you money?
Oh yeah.
How much would you charge me to lease one? Or rent one, whatever you want to call it?
Just whatever the value of it is. Basically, I would sell it to you, and then when you were done with it, if it wasn't busted, I'd buy it back at the same price, minus shipping.
What is what's a decent one that you could give me? Could you give me just like a reasonable one, or I don't know, anyone that you trust, the cheapest one that you trust, essentially.
You mean like AutoZone, Jesse? Like you could just go there and rent all the tools and then return them for free?
Yeah. And you recorded it.
Then I would just.
I'm
context to my statement, right? And you should.
When they're measuring these mountain peaks, like, so even if you did them around the same time every day, that could be something like to consider because you could still get like the same measurements every day that show drop. You know what I mean?
I did them at all times of day and different times of year. I was trying to get as much variation as I could.
I think you should do one at like midnight or 2 a.m. or something as
I
well.
can't see the mountain at that time, but
Well, that's why it's important maybe to find one that has like a light on the top of it, kind of like Dr. Mike's did, because they had like a tourist center on the top, so he could see where the top was. But yeah, at night that would be really hard to differentiate.
I might have to sneak a laser beacon on the top of a mountain. Don't tell anybody. We don't have that sort of stuff around here. Our mountains all go dark at night.
Jesse, is my mic any better?
You're still kind of choppy. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Well, the okay came through.
Oh, that was okay.
That sounds good.
You sound good. Give it a go.
Okay, Jesse was trying to make a point earlier. He kind of got railroaded by several folks regarding what Stellarium showed and where the mountain was. I guess you didn't get any resolution to that.
I do have my.
We got what you said, but you started breaking up there near the end.
Okay, I'll be back.
I do have my Stellarium shared, set to Dr. Heffron's location, and I can turn on and off refraction, if you like.
I mean, this would also just be a guess of where the actual position is with refraction turned off because it's never been measured. Unless Stellarium. Did Stellarium measure it? Which way the light was bending from us to the star?
I don't know what goes on
No,
inside Stellarium.
I didn't think so.
Bro, but it's
I didn't think so, yeah.
All I know is that it accurately tells us what angle we're going to see a star at a given time. That's what I know. Somehow, it does it.
But Jesse,
and
real quick,
and not the actual position, which we would need to do geometry. You need actual position to do geometry, not actual position.
So light bends towards the denser medium, typically, right?
Right. Always. Well, always the medium, or always the region with the greater index of refraction.
Right, the greater refractive index. Now, in both Snell's law and Fermat's principle, they both bend towards the denser medium. The greater refractive index occurs towards the denser medium, correct?
In all, that's almost always correct. You could create like an oil-water sinking refraction is. I know what a mirror refraction.
Measured which way the light was bending in a vacuum.
They've done that. There's no refraction in the vacuum.
So the light isn't bending. How did you measure bending light if it isn't bending?
You get the chamber, you fill it with air, you see a bend, you take the air out, there's no bend.
That's a measurement?
Well, it's a comparison between two measurements, isn't it? Isn't it a measurement?
I don't know. What was the arc of the bend? Like, I don't know. You're saying you shot light through glass, then through air.
And no one said that. No, you can put equipment. You can drive a laser through a chamber, can't you?
Oh, so you have the laser in the chamber, in the vacuum?
You don't necessarily have to have it in the vacuum. You could have it outside the vacuum going through.
Going through what? The glass?
Yeah, sure. If you want to. At 90 degrees. What would you expect to happen?
So you're saying when you shine this light through the vacuum, through the glass first, then through the air, it bends. But when you shine it through the glass first, then the vacuum, it doesn't bend? No, I understand your point. You're comparing the two scenarios. I get it. Why are you putting glass?
Yeah.
Why are you incorporating glass into it? Why would you need to have that extra variable?
The laser mechanism might not be suitable for putting down to such a low pressure.
What? Why?
Because a lot of things, if you put them in a vacuum, will break, like a light bulb or incandescent mechanics. Not everything can survive and work in a vacuum, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean,
right. Well, I've just answered your question.
So you're saying when I remove more air, the less the light bends. Is that correct?
That's what every single measurement that's ever been made indicates, yes.
Okay, you have that measurement?
What, at hand while I'm driving along in a car? Why don't you go and search it and see what you find?
You talking about like salt water when they put like salt or sugar in water or whatever?
No. You can shine a laser through a gaseous chamber and then evacuate it and see the path of the laser deviate according to the pressure in there. You can even increase the pressure.
We're just going to close a box, right? Close a box up, shine a light through it. Then we're going to pull all the air out of the box and shine a light through it and get different results. Is that correct?
That's correct. But what you can do is, if you know, if the chamber itself is if the chamber is a carefully and calibrated and engineered chamber, then you know that as you move it, you can tell whether the light is traveling a straight, unfettered path or whether it's deviating as it goes along.
How You're only looking for a chamber do you got? Is you see this effect within a 1 foot chamber? 1 foot by 1 foot?
I don't think they do it in a 1 foot chamber. No.
Oh, how big is it?
I don't know how big the experiments are, but they're quite large. They're quite long.
You've seen it, though. You've seen it. You said.
I've seen
estimation. Just give an idea. Like it looked like it was 3 feet long or something. That's all.
No, it was longer than that. I think it was about 30 foot long. I saw the paper I saw.
How good of a vacuum did they get? What were the materials that the chamber was made out of?
I can't tell you how good a vacuum they got. What does that have to do with anything? If it got to be more straight with less air in there, isn't that telling you something at least?
You saw over a 30-foot span the light changing the way
that I've seen papers that describe that process being evaluated in a calibrated chamber. Yes. Do you want me to go and find it for you?
You said you've seen papers? So you haven't seen the chamber? You never looked at the chamber?
No, I've never seen the chamber itself in person. No, doing that.
Yeah, well,
I've never been to China, but I know it exists.
Well, you don't know for sure it exists. Actually, you just have a belief that it exists.
That's right. Yeah, of course. Let's get back to.
Well,
let's start the 16-year-old philosophy up, shall we?
Yeah. Well, if you're saying that you know things based on observation, and now you're claiming
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said I've seen papers. I've seen papers that indicate that's the process that goes on. I don't know what is so hard for you.
Okay, so then you accept the Bible then, for sure, right?
Why?
Because there's a paper that tells you how all of mankind got here.
And can it be? Can it be peer reviewed, evaluated, and corroborated with evidences?
Doesn't matter. You didn't do any of that.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You're a waste of time. You're an absolute waste of time. You're comparing a scientific paper to scripture. What's the point in talking to you?
I've looked.
That was your standard. Your standard was if it's in a paper, it's the truth. So.
Yeah, well,
we got one.
Yeah, you want to talk about peer-reviewed? It's the most peer-reviewed paper in the world, dude. It's the most.
What is the Bible?
Yeah,
that's right. Peer-reviewed. That's right. Yeah.
How many peers have viewed the Bible? Many more than have viewed this mythical 30 foot long paper you were reading.
Let's pretend that you're equating lots of people looking at something with a scientific peer review mechanism, because that's useful, isn't it?
It's not just looking at it, man. They study it. People study it till like their whole lives, bro. People preach it. People do all kinds of stuff with it. So
I know they do. So all right. Here we are. So here we are then. Back where we started.
Here we are. You're a Bible believer. Yeah, I get it. No, it's all good.
No. I don't believe the Bible.
Dude, we just
you don't believe the scientific papers. That's fine. You carry on. Praise be the Lord.
Amen.
That's how you live your life.
Is what Paz is saying incorrect? Is he wrong, Cora?
He doesn't know. He's never seen the chamber. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just basing it on faith. He's just like, I swear I read it in a paper, so it must be the case.
Right. Well, that's right.
Many of us.
Cora, do you think that what Paz is asserting is wrong? Are you making the claim that what Paz is saying is real is not real?
No, I did not make that claim.
No.
Okay, so do you then agree that it is real?
I don't have any. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I was asking a lot of questions about it because I was thinking he was going to point me in the direction to it, and then at the end he was like, "Yo, it's just a paper I read."
Well, go and look it up. It's everywhere online.
I don't know if you guys know this, but when you Google stuff, it doesn't give you the results. Everyone doesn't get the same results anymore. It's all skewed to your bias, bro.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah, this is that. You want to know how I know this? Because I do the midrash for the Torah portions every week, and I used to do it, and I would get a bunch of Jewish websites. So then I would type in Messianic Torah portion, so that way I'd get a Messianic one. Now I just type in Torah portion, and it puts the ones I always click on right at the top, bro.
You're getting the best results. It's an organized reorganization.
You're also converting so many people like Paza, who was just recently converted, with your reasoning that those are the results that are going to,
Where that does make sense. I guess. Yeah, that makes.
No,
Yeah.
it's no tanks. Don't expect no tanks to make sense.
Yeah, for real.
That was logical as it gets, man. No wonder. I thought it was Google.
No, I don't know what you guys think peer review is actually doing. I don't know what you guys think peer review is actually doing, but they're just doing the same thing you're doing, Pazza.
That's it, Jeremy. You got it.
Hold on, man. I'm right in the middle, dude. I'm right in the middle of my thing, bro. Let me just finish, and then you can go next. I don't know what you think peer review does. They're doing the same shit you're doing. They just read the paper. They've never seen the tube either.
No. Peer review also repeats some of the experiments as well.
That's your boy.
That's actually been a big thing in peer review is that they don't actually do anything. They just read the papers. It's like
again, that's not true. That's not true.
Talking, dude.
Yeah, but you're talking bollocks.
Pazza, I don't care. I'm not talking.
I know you don't.
I don't even know what bollocks is. Is that a meat?
Crap.
It sounds like a meat. You eat
You're talking crap, to be clear. Peer reviews
also repeats some of the experiments as well.
That's your boy.
That's actually been a big thing in peer review is that they don't actually do anything. They just read the papers. That's like
again, that's not true.
Discrepancy.
That's
Pazza,
not true.
I'm still talking, dude.
Yeah, but you're talking bollocks.
Pazza, I don't care. I'm not talking.
I know
bollocks.
you don't.
I don't even know what bollocks is. Is that a meat?
Crap.
It sounds like a meat you eat in
Don't eat it. You're talking crap, to be clear. Peer reviews are demonstrable functions, not just reading something and going, yeah, that looks right. That's peer reviewed now. Stop being childish.
I'm not being childish. That was a big thing a few years ago in peer review was they're not actually doing anything. They're just reading the papers, just like you did.
Keep repeating the mantra.
What happened? Were you driving and like somebody cut you off and you came in like I'm going to chill out, but then you got real angry?
Again, no tanks with more pointless fluff involved. Yeah, carry on, tanks. Yeah,
I'm here. I'm like a shoulder for you right now.
Yeah,
You guys are hilarious. There's a peer-reviewed paper that says peer review is nonsense. It's just gatekeeping.
In peer review, they repeat some parts of the experiments. It's based on their extent of the information that they're able to discern if it is foolishness. And if something that you're confused about, what they do, they repeat those pieces to ensure the validity of it.
Peer review is precisely consensus-based science. It's not about verifying or validating anything. It's about consensus. That's what peer review is in a nutshell.
No, not true.
Let me read this real quick. Here's how it goes. When discussing peer review not doing experiments, it means that the reviewers evaluating a scientific paper typically do not actively replicate the experiments described in the paper themselves. Instead, they critically assess the methodology, data analysis, and conclusions presented based on their expertise in the field without necessarily performing their own independent experiments to verify the results.
Right, that's what I just said.
So pretty much
to you.
what I said. That's exactly what I said. They don't actually substantiate or validate anything. It's based on consensus. You're welcome.
No, not consensus.
He said you guys.
Take the word consensus
and Jeremy as well. Thank you.
Because consensus is nefarious. So what they do, again, based on their expertise, they validate what the information that's there. In case there's information that's not clear, they will repeat those parts of the experiments.
It's openly admitted, Robert, that peer review is consensus-based science. I don't know why you would push back on that.
No. In what Jeremy just read, there's no consensus word in there. Please take that word out. Right?
Yeah, there is. They don't
it's critical analysis based on
consensus is the name of it. You said peer reviewed. What do you think the peers are, bro?
No, peer means all your peers go.
Yeah, your consensus.
No. They critically analyze it to ensure that
All
the
right, dude. They think about it
information
really,
is
really,
good.
really, really
And if
hard.
there's
Okay,
information
you
is
win.
not
Yep.
clear, they will repeat those pieces of the experiment,
Not
typically
always.
make sure
Get
that
this
there's
guy.
clarity. Not
Not
always.
always, dude.
You're
That's the
correct.
point, dude. Not always. Sometimes they might cross verify it.
Not always does not throw out the entire peer review process. You're
It doesn't
trying to
matter, bro. Most of the
nefariously,
time, they don't do the experiments. They don't
you're
repeat the
using words.
experiments. Most of the time, there's no cross verification, which is the point. You're talking about the exception to the case where sometimes, rarely do they repeat the experiment. So what, dude?
So that means sometimes they do.
Okay,
Yeah,
sometimes they do.
Hold on, do you have evidence that who repeated the experiment that Pazza talked about? Yeah, you have someone that did that? Because that's what the topic was. I don't know if you understood that, Robert. So you're fighting for the fact that they repeat these experiments. You're fighting for this paper. So you have evidence of someone else repeating. You've seen this experiment, the 30-foot vacuum tank?
I personally have done refraction examples in my physics
Whose
experience.
peer are you? Are you somebody?
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it.
I've done review,
Let's see it.
and look,
Wait, when? What year? What year?
and basically,
What year was it?
Bro, this Robert dude just like
let me give more information.
like it's one sentence. It's not one sentence, Robert. Dude, just because you don't stop, it's not one
Yeah,
sentence.
this is not working out, guys. We gotta chill out.
Guys,
when I'm out here, yeah, relax, brother. Relax. Take it easy. Let's all take a deep breath and go one at a time.
Consensus-based science, peer review. Yes.
No, it's not consensus-based. Take that word out of it. Completely out of it, please.
No,
So now,
not at all.
yeah, throw it out because Jeremy read the definition for you, and consensus is not in there. Throw it out. So don't do that. What you're doing is you are manipulating what he read. Don't do that.
No,
You're trying to guide the listeners here into nefarious.
As they should be. As they should be.
Right?
Just stop talking, Robert. Stop talking, Robert. Robert, stop talking. Stop talking.
He's triggered, bro. He's triggered because he knows I touched the soft spot, and all they have is consensus. They don't have any way to substantiate or validate. Oh, you're just gonna chant through me, Robert? Is that what you're gonna do all fucking day here?
I am still talking.
Robert, please stop it, or we're gonna have to put you on mute or time you out. You can't just keep it.
Yeah, but
you're in the middle of talking, Robert. I know you're.
Let me stop and then you go, Robert, please.
Yeah, they don't substantiate or validate any of it. It's all consensus based. So go ahead, Robert. Prove me wrong.
Yes, I'm going to prove you wrong. Jeremy just read it for you, and there's no consensus in there. So take the word consensus out of it because you're trying to plant a nefarious
Guys,
thought process.
can we come to a consensus about muting Robert and then agreeing that peer review does mean consensus? Can we come to this consensus?
Yeah, but Robert, it's kind of challenging to listen to, right? Because you're saying throw a consensus, but then you'll argue that people or the experts are doing the experiments or replicating experiments, which we've determined is very rare. So it's challenging to have a conversation with you, right? As you can see, and then you're over talking. So can we maybe keep it concise as well with your responses? Thank you.
I have been overtalked all through this entire process, but I'm trying to.
Is other.
Go thing.
Some stand the point you're.
It's when I hit Control F and type in the word consensus, I feel like it takes up half the page.
When they say, Robert, when they say critical assessment,
my point is made. Consensus
Robert, you can't just stop everybody and claim victory, bro. Robert, when you hear,
He's responding to somebody.
Okay, all right. All right, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, what I'm saying is point made. The point made. You see, when I asked him how does consensus make him feel, he starts to think about the negative aspect.
I didn't say anything like that.
He didn't say that. He was saying when he puts Control F. That means he was looking for that. Hold on, real quick, Robert. Just so you, I don't want you to make
clean this up, bro. Clean this up right after mute everyone.
This is a fucking. I was trying to get in. I yielded to Robert. I wanted to fucking say something, and everyone's jumping in on it, dude. Robert, you need to wrap it up, dude. Make it fucking quick and concise. This is too much.
It's a long, arduous process, but I'm sorry. I'm going to wrap it up real quick now. So the reason, okay, real quick. I'm going to be fast. You're only mentioning consensus to plant doubt in the process. Thank you.
Okay. Wait. No. Would you for this room or a bunch of experts who reached a consensus about how to make a viable air?
Completely irrelevant, dude.
No.
Definition that Jeremy read off. How do you perceive critical assessment? Okay, so he's not going to respond to that. Critical assessment is a fancy word for saying consensus. In case you didn't know that, buddy.
Huh?
I hope I came through there.
Yeah, he's gone, dude.
Would you prefer to have this room of people design an airplane from the ground up?
Assessment. Okay, so he's not going to respond to that. Critical assessment is a fancy word for saying consensus. In case you didn't know that, buddy.
Huh?
I hope I came through there.
Yeah, he's gone, dude.
Would you prefer to have this room of people design an airplane from the ground up, or
that's completely irrelevant?
Wait. No. Would you prefer this room or a bunch of experts who reached a consensus about how to make a viable airplane?
Completely irrelevant, dude.
No. It's a good question. This room by consensus, or the expert by consensus?
Yeah, I understand the point you're trying to make, but let's at least concede to the fact that peer review is consensus-based science. Can you do that? Are you capable of that?
I don't even know whether you'd like to. Well, then be honest. Tell you what, I'll answer your question if you answer mine. Would you rather? Okay. Would you? I think you could interpret it as a consensus. Yes, sure.
Okay, so you're willing to concede to that. Fine. Now, to answer your question, I would much rather have an accredited heart surgeon work on my heart, or an accredited airplane mechanic build a plane rather than just a bunch of random group of people. Yes.
Okay. How about a consensus of airplane mechanics, the best way to build the airplane?
But again, we're talking about something, right, that has a blueprint, a design to it that we can all agree on. When we're talking about reality and science, this isn't necessarily something that requires agreement. This is something that either goes with or it doesn't.
You told me you would answer my question. My question is, would you fly an airplane that was constructed, blueprinted via consensus between experts? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Why?
I mean,
Why would I prefer to fly a plane that was built through a consensus of accredited engineers versus what, just a random group of people?
Yes.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Obviously, the accredited consensus engineers are going to have a lot more understanding on the topic than just a random group of people. But again, this isn't analogous to peer review being consensus-based science. This isn't analogous.
Can I add something?
It's analogous to the underlying point that started this conversation that you guys have diverted from, was that the knowledge of experts in consensus is worth having. And you guys are trying to dismiss that simply because the word consensus is involved.
I think it could be. I think what you're describing is something empirical, like the airplane thing. So it's like an empirical thing that's been tested, proven. We watch people get in those airplanes. They take off. We've been in them. And then the other side is like a theoretical.
Yeah,
like
we're not.
Yep.
That's
the box.
I don't think people are afraid or worried about consensus. However, if there is evidence that certain consensus has become corrupt, like if you just analyze peer review, according to, what do I have here? The Journal of Royal Society in Medicine, they state it's a flawed process at the heart of science and journals. And this is just well known. This is back from 2006.
Now, you guys grilled that guy for 20 minutes about the word consensus while avoiding the actual important part. And I don't know if he left. He probably got kicked.
No, but you at least agreed to it being consensus based. He was denying it all the way to the deathbed. Like, he was not trying to give up. That's why.
Well, what I agreed to was interpretation, but I think you guys.
What drives peer review? Wait. Yeah, consensus is not what drives peer review. The consensus tends to come when, a truth is established, or, a scientific law or scientific theory. The consensus kind of gathers around that. It's not something that, we're going to invoke consensus on this. That's ridiculous.
The point is, just because a consensus of individuals, whether they're experts in the field or not, believe something to be the case, doesn't mean that that's the case.
Well,
that's
a
it.
reason.
It is fallacious reasoning, regardless if they're experts or not. Now, granted,
well,
you would expect experts to actually understand the material, right, and give you the truth, but we don't know that. As flat earthers, we don't know that. That's a leap of faith.
Is it a leap of faith to board an airplane?
Again, that's not analogous.
To a certain extent, it actually is. Yeah.
It's a good question. It's a leap of faith you take because you believe in the experts that constructed and operate that aircraft.
Yeah, you're getting into the idea that, belief is a presupposition to knowing. Yeah.
For example, just because a consensus of scientists believe that global warming is a thing and that sea levels are going to rise in 20 years and we all have to, doesn't mean that that's the case, bro.
Okay, but in this case, it is, right?
No.
In the case of aerodynamics, it 100% is.
Okay, that's not analogous, bro.
It 100%, it's consensus, right?
No, dude, no, bro.
Yes, it is. In fact,
bro. These guys aren't doing the experiments themselves, right? It's not like they're actually building. We're not talking about building aircrafts, bro. We're talking about refraction and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, but they might be replicating the. It depends on if they're in question on the procedures and the data. They may do the experiment themselves and see what conclusions they draw.
Yep, and when they give answers that are different, they throw it out. They go, "Oh, those are outliers."
No, you're trying to divert again. bottom line is that these aircraft are built designs. They go in front of boards of experts who don't necessarily recreate the aircraft themselves, right? The idea that you want to dismiss things because of consensus is nonsense.
Well, Negator, have you ever heard of the Ash conformity experiment where they put an individual in a room with paid actors? So consensus could be flawed. Like the consensus was that one line that they were shown was longer than the longest line, which was inaccurate. So consensus could be very dangerous. We're not challenging all consensus. We know that some consensus is accurate, spot on. We're just challenging the peer review aspect of it and the inherent dangers that have been brought to people's attention.
If that were true, that that's the ground you were challenging that on, somebody earlier would have said, yeah, it's okay, but nobody did. So I doubt that. All right. What this whole conversation revolves around is experts peer reviewing something, coming to a consensus, right? And you guys are trying to dispute that, but you're also okay with experts via consensus designing and flying your aircraft. It's contradictory.
Well, I get your point. I agree with you on the airplane point of view. But remember, there was a time where we had the consensus that cigarettes were safe. They had the scientists, but they were all found out to be lying. They literally went to court. They went to Congress, swore, put their hand up, but they were exposed as liars. So consensus could definitely be very dangerous.
Well, do we trust it or do we not? And I think the question is we do, because you guys all... Right?
That wasn't the question, though, originally.
Well, the question was something, and I gotta know, did he leave or was he kicked?
Listen, he asked if peer-reviewed was a consensus-based system. And you agreed, yes, it is ultimately a consensus-based system. He would not admit to that for some reason. So that's the difference in what you're saying.
But what does that have to do with the point of the material? That was the actual conversation.
No, the point was, if someone is deluded and they think that the peer review system has nothing to do with consensus, you're not going to be able to move on in the conversation with that person. So you have to at least try to get through to them so that they can understand what the conversation is.
But how does that help all parties agree or disagree with what the experiment's showing?
Dude, the point is, right, we couldn't get them to agree on the consensus-based evaluation of peer review. Once we established that,
Case of experts that say that said would require light refractive.
No, well, that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, according to the mainstream consensus, but there are experts in the field with degrees, with credentials that go against the scientific consensus. So what do you do then?
Okay,
you probably hold on. I'm almost done. Hold on, I'm almost done. What do you do then? You probably appeal to the majority, which is fallacious. Go ahead.
You didn't provide a citation backing up your claim.
You want me to read one from the Oxford Dictionary? Sinking refraction. Sinking refraction is a refraction effect in which an object normally visible on the geographical horizon apparently sinks beneath it. It occurs when air density decreases with height at a lower rate than normal. So you still have the densest air on the bottom. It just decreases with height at a lower rate than normal. Now, what normal is a whole other question. Because I don't think there is a normal, like there must be a different normal for Florida than California, considering the different environments. So I don't know how that works.
So what is the purpose of the things that you just said? What are you hoping to achieve with that?
Well, what this is showing is that sinking refraction occurs when air density decreases with height at a lower rate than normal, meaning that you can have sinking refraction with light bending down.
Okay, that's not in dispute. I'm not sure why you're telling me that.
Okay, so which one were you upset about that Lion said?
What one?
You said one of those is not light bending down.
So you don't know what I said. You quoted me something in reference to the thing that you don't know what I said?
No, I definitely just asked you which one of the ones of refraction you said those all can't be caused by light bending down. So which one are you in dispute? Which one's in dispute?
Wait, I said one of those cannot be caused by light bending down. And then you quoted me something to prove my point?
Yeah, which one? Which one? I'm asking you. Sinking, looming,
Why?
towering. Which one? Because you said one of those can't.
So
You said those words.
Oh, okay. And where are you
Yeah,
going
so
with this?
now I'm asking you which one can't.
Are you just quizzing me? What's your purpose here?
Because you said one, it was very vague. You didn't specify which one, so I'm asking you to be more specific, please, and tell us exactly which one.
Okay, but why?
So that way I can know which one you believe isn't caused by light bending down. So therefore I can research and learn more for you.
So, dude, I'm posting multiple links. You don't need light refracting upwards to cause looming or a superior mirage. I have multiple sources here attesting to all you need is light bending downwards or refracting downwards at different rates to cause these mirages.
And it's only possible on a globe.
What is this, a tactic you're using or something?
Well, hold on,
like
dude, because two
being
minutes ago
obscure?
you were like, that's not the case. You need it to bend upwards. Now I'm posting credible sources that go against the scientific consensus, but I already know how you guys act. You guys are automatically going to side with the majority. That's how you guys, that's what you guys do.
What consensus are you arguing with right now?
Come on. You asked me for the sources. I posted the sources. Now you're playing dumb. Dude, this is a tactic. This is what you guys do, bro.
Negator always, when he's put into a corner, he starts
will,
running this tactic that he just plays like he's dumb or you're dumb or something.
I got hyperphysics, right? I posted San Diego University. They all say the same thing. Hold on. I got more, dude. Give me a second, dude.
Yes, and they all involve light bending down. Now, light can bend up. I don't dispute that, which is why I'm curious why you guys are on this.
Wait, what are you talking about? Which one needs light to bend up for it to happen?
Now, for something that is below you, if the Earth is flat and it's below your horizontal, you would have to refract up for it to appear higher. I think that I got that right.
Okay, I can understand what you're saying, but I just read you a definition with sinking refraction, explaining that sinking refraction can occur with the light bending down.
Yeah, you just agreed to the opposite thing.
No, but that's the given there is the.
Hey, Negator, you're done.
Hey, Tor. I'm sorry. Did you not hear what I said?
You're
yeah. Neg, hold
it.
on. Neg thinks he's walked you into a trap to bringing up a bunch of sources that prove his point for the globe. If I'm not mistaken, Neg.
I did. Yes, you're very mistaken. I didn't ask him for sources. In fact, I asked him why he was saying sources.
No, I know, but
You
he's
guys have
trying to
trouble
say
following.
right. You're trying to get him to make his argument for him ultimately. That's why he thinks he's being clever, if I'm not mistaken. What up, Nick?
Yeah, it's a funny tactic, and I appreciate it, Negator. It is a comedic act. I do find it entertaining, but at the same time, it's easy to see through and destroy, and that's why you're done.
What did you destroy? You don't even know what I'm saying.
Negator, you just said sinking refraction needs upward bending light. That's what you just said. But earlier, you agreed that it can happen with down bending light. That's what he's saying.
It sounds like you're misunderstanding too. In order for light to, if Earth is a globe, right, light will naturally refract downward, right?
What do you mean, right? That's a premise you have. Give the argument. You go premise 1, premise 2, conclusion. You don't go right, like where you're looking for a consensus or something. That's not how you make logical arguments, bro.
And is the atmosphere denser closest to the surface, Tora?
Yep, seems that way in most scenarios, not all.
And which direction does light bend
contradicting yourself?
Yep, so that's why I gave you the definition of sinking refraction. I'll do it again. It occurs when air density decreases with height at a lower rate than normal. So do you understand what that means? The most dense air is on the bottom in that definition I just gave you. And that produces sinking refraction, which causes things to be below the horizontal.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's why it's below the normal.
Yep, you're done.
You keep saying that, but you just don't understand these things.
You know that's
you
not an
didn't
argument,
contradict yourself.
right? You know that's not an argument. You don't understand. That's not an
Negator,
argument, right?
explain how you did not contradict yourself.
But
What
at
did
the
I
end of the
say
day,
about the
at
globe?
the end of the day, bro, we really don't know because none of us have actually done any experiments to verify which way light's bending. We don't really know the nature of light too well, man.
Thing is,
Yeah,
we
but he
do
does
though.
know. See, he knows.
I do. Hey, actually, Regis, I got a question regarding the earlier conversation you had with Jesse.
I'm good, bro.
And you sure? Because you made a lot of claims about him, but you were flat wrong. And I don't want to.
No, I was right. The only claim I did was that the angle would decrease when the refraction button was opposite of what Jesse said. Jesse said it'd be a lower angle. It would be a higher angle with refraction on. I'm right. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Jesse. I'm not sure what he. I don't know if you guys misunderstood each other. The bigger point that you are obtusely missing on purpose was that Stellarium predicted the star would be at 2 degrees and 30 arcminutes with refraction on. And in reality, the star was in that location and also the same location as the top of the mountain, 2 degrees and 30 arcminutes. Which then means that refraction was affecting where the mountaintop appeared, right?
I'm not following.
Okay. So the star and the top of the mountain were in the same location, correct? When he observed them?
Sure.
And Stellarium, with refraction turned on, predicted the star would be at that location, right?
Nope. You're wrong. With it turned off. That's why it's used.
See? Hey, no, let me go look.
Okay, you go look. I watched it twice, so. And I was right.
Right. If refraction is on, the star is at 2 degrees and 30 arcminutes. If refraction is off, the star is lower, and therefore the mountain is lower, right?
Yeah, 219 or something.
Right. Okay. Do you see the problem that what he was observing was through refraction?
No, that's our point.
What?
Flat Earth.
Okay, you're missing it. Stellarium with refraction on put the star at where he saw it. Hence, where he saw the star.
No, Negator. With it off. With it off.
Let me
My goodness.
That's what you just left to look at.
Isn't the confusion? They thought light needed a medium to propagate through. That's the confusion. They weren't in question about the Copernican model. They were confident in the Copernican model. They knew Earth was moving, and they were going to utilize that fact, exploit the fact that the Earth was moving through space in order to detect ether. That's all that was.
I'm telling you, they didn't see anything regarding the Earth movement. That's why they got baffled. This is a fact about this experiment.
The baffle was they discovered that light didn't need a medium to propagate through. That was the baffle.
How do you know that? Well,
That's what the readings are. That's what the readings are. You said.
And then to cut back to the current argument, I think Kazra is saying, and I'm sure Left-Wing disputed already, Kazra, all of those experiments showed Earth was not moving through ether. There was always a basic level of movement detected.
This is super frustrating that I can't argue this back right now. You're still wrong. It's gross.
It's okay, Regis. We can text each other later. I'm about to take off. I don't want to walk away with I win. And then to cut back to the current argument, I think Kazra is saying, and I'm sure Left-Wing disputed already, Kazra, all of those experiments showed Earth was not moving through ether. There was always a basic level of movement detected.
This is super frustrating that I can't argue this back right now. You're still wrong. It's gross.
It's okay, Regis. We can text each other later. I'm about to take off. I don't want to walk away with I win. I'll be glad when I'm on my desktop this evening and my phone to go back and give you a full, in-depth explanation about why this guy is wrong. I also believe the instrument he used was not perfectly calibrated, and I also think it's telling that he only did one angular measurement as opposed to several throughout the day or through different things.
Actually, they found the drag of ether. Just I'll take a look up this terminology. Ether drag. That was the thing that they really found. Nothing else. Like the amount of deviation. Well, the drag of ether.
What is it that's drag? So it's a luminiferous ether, right? That's the thing, right? So now the light. I guess so we're saying the light. You found a drag in light. Slower light.
Dragons. He said dragons.
Drag in. Yeah, I guess that's a drag. Drag in the light. Yeah.
You know when light enters a medium or a crystal, and it seems to affect the I don't want to say the speed because you guys are going to catch me on the technicality, but the induction of it, the refractive index shifts a little bit, causing it to appear to slow down. According to relativity, light's not supposed to slow down. Well, see, because of the ether drag, that light has a preferred direction, and the ether drag actually causes like real inertial forces, not like pseudo forces. And like the Coriolis effect is actually a product of ether drag. It could be. And I'm not talking about like the bullet and all that, but like there's forces that are acting upon us right now due to the sky moving, dude. And there's like a fluid substance up there that's translating a real force down to the earth, and light is affected by it. That's what the Michelson-Morley experiment picked up. That's what Dayton Miller picked up.
What's this? What's this preferred direction of light? Like, was it up, down, left, right, north, south?
There seems to be both a downward bias and also a east to west bias in the north.
It was X and Y, if you would have think. It wasn't in Z direction, basically. So yeah, I was looking to Wikipedia about the ether drag hypothesis that proposed that the luminiferous ether is dragged or is dragged by or entrained within the moving matter. So, and within this hypothesis, they're saying that the Earth is slightly moving in the ether. That is the drag of the ether. But this has nothing to do with that concept of the heliocentric model. But the Earth is moving with 1,000 kilometers per hour around the Milky Way, and the whole story that you guys know better than me. But the data, it doesn't conforms with the thing that we've been told. You know what I'm trying to say? They found a little deviation, which is called the drag of ether, but that is not for the Earth moving around the sun or the whole solar system movement. That was the thing that it didn't match. It didn't match actually.
Yeah, so there was a movement, but it was not in accordance with the acclaimed rotation of Earth spinning.
Exactly. So it's supposed to be 33 meters per second, or 33 miles per second, or something like that. Yeah, miles per second. I think is what they measured.
Now, like a clock hand, right? If it wouldn't be changing in like RPMs or right, like the tip of the clock and the clock hand wouldn't be moving faster, right? So than lower down on the clock hand. So that would be like in reference to like altitude. It wouldn't actually be moving faster.
In the flat Earth cosmology, we know that the toroidal field of the Earth is moving. Basically, it's the firmament that is moving upon the flat Earth model. So, of course, they should have detect a little bit of movement. You know what I'm trying to say? So again, this the data.
I'm trying to, I'm just weighing out the two models, right? Like, so like on the one model, it's like the Earth is rotating on an axis, just like a clock hand. Like the tip of the clock hand is the surface of Earth's globe. You go a little higher up, you're just higher up on the tip. It shouldn't be fast. It wouldn't be any kind of faster or slower measurement. As you go up and down, it'll be this consistent speed, which should just be rotational, like velocity. But now in this experiment of measurement of the ether, did they measure it the same at all altitude, or to match the globe, hypothesis, or did it change with altitude?
It changes with. Not only does it change with altitude, it changes with latitude. That's why when people talk about like measuring different with the focused pendulum, measuring a difference in the precession at different latitudes, and because of that, you can kind of guess what latitude you're at. Like I'm not surprised, bro. Because there's ways to explain that even on a stationary Earth because the sky's moving at different rates because of the angular velocity changes. So you're gonna have a differential at every latitude. Not a big deal.
Makes it like it could be the sombrero style too. That's a little higher in the north and higher in the south and valleyed out in the middle.
Okay, so then if that's the case, is the sun moving?
Yeah, dude.
Or is it the ether?
It's all moving.
I don't like that answer.
I like this.
So the sun moves.
Like the sun is the golden spoon, spinning it all up.
That's what I think.
Sun is fluctuating. You guys have to think like a fluctuation, like frequency and vibration. Like Nikola Tesla, he taught us that you have to look everything to frequency and fluctuation. So sun is actually fluctuating. It's moving. Even moon, the rest of them. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so the sun moves at 15 degrees per hour in the sky, and the ether moves at what, 15 degrees per hour?
Well, people presume that ether is stationary and sun is kind of moving within this ether field. Like the ether is the energy field around the Earth, or it's the quantum field. Well, this is like how in the mainstream science they changed this thing.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that if you measure it to be moving. I can't just imagine it's not moving if you measure it to be moving. So if you measure the ether to be moving, I wouldn't just say, well, let's just pretend it's not. I'd say, well, you measure it to be moving. I don't know why. Doesn't make a reason for that one, but that's why I'm asking the question. Like, so if the ether is moving at 15 degrees per hour, and I see the sun moving at 15 degrees per hour, is the sun not moving? Is it moving with or independent of this ether that's moving at the same rate? It would have to just be moving at the same rate. I mean, so now is the sun, how do you differentiate?
That's a good question. I don't know, but it's all moving. Regardless, the fluid is moving, the sun is moving, the stars are moving. Whether it's the sun causing the fluid to move or the fluid causing the sun to move, that's yet to be determined.
Yeah, that is kind of what I'm getting at. Like this whole 24-hour Antarctica thing. I've always asked the questions. Not that I think I'll know the answer. Like, what is the sun the cause or is it the effect? Is the sun moving? Like Witz would always give there's the two options: either the Earth is moving, or the sky is, or the things in the sky are moving. And I'm like, well, there's option 3 that the things in the sky are just like some sort of like a focal nodal point of the things in the sky moving along with other things to give you this. So there's 3 options. It's things in the sky are moving, the sky itself is moving, or I guess Earth is moving. Maybe there's more options I'm not aware of.
Like if you had a fluid, static, but you started moving your hands through it, it's gonna cause the fluid to move. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. That's a good question, dude. What do you think's going on? You're just a guess.
I think it's like field lines crossing, and then the thing that we call the sun is like this point where these lines cross. And the reason I think that is not just because of the 24-hour sun stuff. It's just it would be like a holistic thing as far as too many coincidences when people are born under a certain zodiac and they have these certain attributes and personality traits. Not even just that. There's like you have if you're born in this under these stars that all align this way with the sun in this place, then you're missing specific minerals and nutrients right in your body, which are like like molecules. And then you got the spectroscopy that looks up at the sky and sees, oh, this is like a gas giant, the spectral lines, etc. That aligns with like all these charts. I can't tie it all together. I'm not the one, but I do think there's like an undeniable correlation between like human behavior, human biology, the placement of the things in the sky, and what they're made out of, and how they're somehow transmitted into us, or in a way like what's it called, the cell salt chart, where if you're built, if you're born in a certain sign, then you're lacking in certain like calcium or whatever it might be. And then there's the like, well, what is the sun? And then there's the cause and effect relationship of like, well, the sun that powers the ground. Well, what powers the sun? And to say nothing would be like unnatural. That aligns with like, and then the thing of the things in the sky moving.
That's yet to be determined.
Yeah, that is kind of what I'm getting at. Like this whole 24-hour Antarctica thing. I've always wondered. I've always asked the questions. Not that I think I'll know the answer. Like, what is the sun the cause, or is it the effect? Is the sun moving? Like Whitson would always give like there's the 2 options. Either the Earth is moving, or the sky is, or the things in the sky are moving. And I'm like, well, there's option 3 that the things in the sky are just like like some sort of like a focal nodal point of the things in the sky moving and aligning with other things to give you this. So there's 3 options. It's things in the sky are moving, the sky itself is moving, or I guess Earth is moving. Maybe there's more options I'm not aware of.
Like if you had a fluid, static, but yet you started moving your hands through it, it's gonna cause the fluid to move. So yeah, it's like, but I don't know, man. That's a good question, dude. What do you think's going on? You're just a guess.
I think it's like field lines crossing, and then the thing that we call the sun is like this point where these lines cross. And the reason I think that is not just because of the 24-hour sun stuff. It's just it would be like a holistic thing as far as too many coincidences when people are born under a certain zodiac, then they have these certain attributes and personality traits. Not even just that. There's like you have, if you're born in this under these stars that all align in this way with the sun in this place, then you're missing specific minerals and nutrients right in your body, which are like like molecules. And then you got the spectroscopy that looks up at the sky and sees, oh, this is like a gas giant, or the spectral lines, etc. That aligns with like all these charts. So I can't tie it all together. I'm not the one, but I do think there's like a undeniable correlation between like human behavior, human biology, the placement of the things in the sky, and then what they're made out of, and how they're somehow transmitted into us, or in a way like what's it called, the cell salt chart, where if you're built, if you're born in a certain sign, and you're lacking in certain like calcium or whatever it might be. And then there's the like, well, what is the sun? And then there's the cause and effect relationship of like, well, the sun that powers the ground. Well, what powers the sun? Yeah. And then to say nothing would be like unnatural. To say nothing, the sun is not powered or fueled by anything, would be like like supernatural sun. But it obviously isn't supernatural because it grows my natural plants. So. Yeah, it's just kind of, I'd have to parse it all out, but that's kind of my reason for answering the question.
Well, I wanted to say something before I got interrupted, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. Go ahead.
I just want to say that about this water thing that this dude was talking about, the ether is moving like along the sun and everything is moving. Yes, of course, there's one theory that we have the water of cosmos that is moving from east to west. This is the direction that the water of cosmos is moving. That's why everything goes from east to west. If you look. So within this whole cosmos water, you have a type of a shelf with a shield that's been covered from these waters. This is exactly what the Bible even says. I'm not religious, but it kind of even looks like that. That there's a water above us that is moving from east to west. That's the direction of everything. That's why our sun always goes from east to west, and it goes around the Polaris for 6 months. Another 6 months, it goes around the southern pole. So yeah, that was the thing I want to say.
I know. That's just got me. Got what's up?
Well, that's like, well, that's not necessarily the case. In the southern hemisphere plane, it seems that the sky is moving in the opposite direction, like not due to perspective or something. No, like actually moving in the opposite direction. And there's been 2 interferometry tests done in the south that corroborated that. Because you know how in the north you have the bias from east to west. Well, in the south you have.
Well, yeah, that was the thing I wanted to say.
How do you know that? How do you know that? Ah, shit, Tor just got to me. Go ahead, Isla. What's up?
Well, if this was not going to talk, well, that's not necessarily the case. In the southern hemisphere plane, it seems that the sky is moving in the opposite direction. Like not due to perspective or something. No. Like actually moving in the opposite direction. And there's been 2 interferometry tests done in the south that corroborated that. Because you know how in the north you have the bias from east to west. Well, in the south you have the bias from west to east, dude. So that to me is showing that no, it's not due to perspective, dude. You actually have 2 counter rotations. And the hurricanes demonstrate that, the tornadoes demonstrate that, everything else demonstrates that too.
I'm telling you have 2 centers. There's a 1 center in north and 1 center in south. Now, when the sun moves from east to west for the first 6 of the month of the year, it would go from east to west around Polaris, and then at the equinox, it will start going again from east to west around the southern pole, if you will think. So you have 2 centers on the ground, and correspondingly, you have 2 centers in the sky. So that's why when you stay at the equator, you're going to see that on your right side is going to be Polaris. And look, if you stand at the equator and if you look west or east, or let's say if you look west, your right side is going to be Polaris and your left side is going to be the southern star. And you can see that the sky has been divided exactly into sections. One is going clockwise, the other one's going counterclockwise. And as you said, it has nothing to do with perspective, because a lot of flat earthers, they would bring the perspective, explanation here, and they always fail. And that's very ridiculous. I have a problem with that. But that is the thing, that the Gleason map or that previous flat earth map had a problem. It couldn't explain that everything goes around Polaris. Or around 2 things. It couldn't explain. On that model, everything was going around the Polaris, the AE map. I'm talking about the AE map. But the new version of Flat Earth model, like the one that I'm working on, it has 2 poles, and it's a symmetrical map. Now, as you said, the cause and effect, the polarity, the rhythm, the mentalism, these are the hermetic laws. And as I always said, sorry I'm talking so much, but this is kind of going to done very fast. I will done very fast. The flat earthers or the people have to use the hermetic laws within their research, right? If you're a flat earther, you need to use those 7 laws of hermetics. They're so important, especially the one that talks about the polarity, that our world is polarized.
Chill. You lost me on that, dude. You lost me. You're doing so good too, man.
Lion, I had a question for you.
You just crashed.
I had a question.
No, I didn't crash, bro. Probably from your perspective, I crashed, but trust me, I've been doing this for many years. But it sounds new, it might sound strange, but if you think about it, it's the hermetic laws. You have to use them. There's 2 poles, we have positive and negative in our reality. So we have to understand that there's 2 centers in our flat Earth model. One is at the north, the other one is in south. You get 2 counter rotations around them because one of them is sync, the other one is source. This is a sync source combination that we have in fluid mechanics as well, or even in electromagnetism. Sorry. Go on.
I had a question for Castro.
Well, I was just going to ask you: is north a point, or is it like a domain block wall straight line? Okay, sorry.
It's exactly under Polaris. Where is Polaris? Exactly. Just draw a line from Polaris vertically down to the ground. That would be exactly your center in ground. And in the south, again, if you look at it's called the Octan constellation, right? You have the Octan constellation. There is another point that kind of looks like everything is going around in the south. Now, if you do the same thing, draw a line vertically from that star all the way into the vertically to the ground.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I know
that's
that.
it, bro.
I
These
know
are your
that.
2 centers.
I just wanted to see.
Hey, Castro,
I just wanted to see if you thought that north was a point or not.
Okay, thank you. I had a quick question for Castro, for anyone. For the flat Earth model, the sun goes counterclockwise, right? But what about the moon? Does the moon go counterclockwise?
The sun always goes east to west, like anywhere you go in both model. When you look at the sun, you would see that it's coming from the east. It always comes from the east to your west. Yes.
And what about the moon? And what about the moon?
It's just going slower, is what they say.
But on the flat Earth model is the moon going counterclockwise?
They're all the same track. Yeah, if you look at this is called the belt of the zodiac. This is called the zodiac belt, right? Where you have all these zodiac signs, these Mercury, I don't know, Mars, Saturn, Moon, Sun, all of them. They are within this bund. There's a bund in the sky, which we call it the zodiac belt. So all of them kind of like a track. They're kind of on that track. They go from.
The reason I ask, thank you, Casper. The reason I ask is because if the sun is the primary driver for weather and perhaps the ether, what about the moon? Is it going in a separate direction? Would that influence the ether, so to speak?
I never said that sun is it's creating the ether. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the sun's the primary driver at all. It's just one of many. It's one of many luminaries that are being propelled by the ether. The ether is the primary driver, and I would say the creator is the primary driver, not the sun.
Okay,
but it all goes in the northern hemisphere. It all goes from east to west. But it seems like in the southern hemisphere, it goes from west to east, literally. On the topographically planet Earth.
Thank you, Lion. So the moon is going west to east as well.
In the south, it's going east to west in the north, but it seems to be actually going from west to east in the south.
No, it goes east to west.
Yeah, but there seems to be an actual counter rotation in the south.
Not in a different direction, though. Cardinal direction. That's just a perspective direction.
No. So I'm trying to tell you guys that an actual counter rotation in the south.
You're saying the moon rises in the west and sets in the east and the south. That's what you're saying right now.
That's what. Yes, but the sun. Hold on, bro. The sun, the stars, and the moon seem to be doing that in the south, bro. I promise you.
The sun is rising in the west and the south. You're saying.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
bro.
Yeah, dude. There's two. That's why. Yeah, dude. That's the whole thing, dude. Why we had to?
Whole thing. That's not the whole thing.
Hold on. There seems to be an actual counter rotation in the south, not just the stars, where you have a 360 degree counter rotation. Now it could be due to some type of firmament thing like we don't know about, but there seems to be an actual counter rotation because
can we please go one at a time? Why are you yelling over somebody when they're talking? Just take it down. Not you, like just everybody. Like it's just everybody. Please,
I'm trying to be concise and fast, so I'm trying to get it out there so he can speak, but he's not letting me.
I get you. Yeah, I got you.
I think we got it, but Lion, I think what they're saying, the counter rotation, is that in summer the sun rises north of east, and then in winter it rises south of east. That's the difference. Not that it's a different direction entirely.
Exactly. Brilliant. Thanks.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I understand Shane's model, right? It's all due to perspective. But I've evaluated different models, dude. So far, the only one that makes sense if there's an actual counter rotation in the south, not one due to perspective or some type of illusion, but an actual counter rotation, which everything that we've done so far in the south seems to be the case, dude. With the hurricanes, with the tornadoes, and with interferometry, there seems to be an actual counter rotation, dude, not due to perspective. If it was purely perspective, why does the direction of light change in the south? Why do we have a bias from west to east in the south? Why do hurricanes spin the opposite way? Why do tornadoes spin the opposite way? These things are not. You can't explain this on the planet Earth, bro, unless you have an actual counter rotation, which we do. If you look, there's a 360 degree circle of stars in the south, dude, that spin the opposite way. That only makes sense on the globe, dude. It doesn't make sense in our model unless you have an actual counter rotation.
Okay, but you agree if you're in Australia and you're looking to the east, that's where the sun is going to rise, right? Like you have a compass out, you're pointing it so north is to your left, and you're looking towards east. That's where the sun rises. You agree, right?
Yeah, if you're looking north from the south, the sun rises in the east.
Not looking north. The north is to your left. So you're looking east. That's the direction the sun rises from. That's not west. That's east.
Yeah, I know, but you're getting me all jacked up now.
Yeah, that's why I was going to ask like Kasra or Kazara to kind of square that hole off the what?
It's Kasra. Kasra. Yeah, okay. It's okay. Go on.
I was going to ask him to kind of like square that. He said there's 2 points of rotation. One at the north, one at the south, and then you got the sun. You got the north, south, east, west. He has it as north as a point in the center. But Castra's claim is that that is actually all moving from east to west in a circle around a point, but yet we have 2 poles. I was going to ask him to kind of square that off there.
Exactly. So if you look at my profile right now, I have the picture. Probably some of you guys have seen this picture before. Well, basically, you can see there's 2 points. Like you have 2 centers. Don't say Polaris is the center. You have 2 centers, and like the Shane's. Let me tell you about the Shane's model. Like, if I were you guys, I would have thrown the Shane's model in garbage tonight. Really, it cannot explain any. Like, a lot of things cannot be explained with that model. Come on, the Coriolis effect cannot be explained.
You're literally using
Yeah,
the same spherical coordinate system, and then you
it
just
doesn't
moved
matter.
it,
Yeah, I can
just
do that. Yeah,
entering it on
exactly.
the equation.
Hey, hold on a
Exactly.
second, dude. Hold on a
Hold
second.
on.
Let's let people finish their points, bro. Like, I've tried getting in 3 separate times. I get interrupted. I yield. And then all of a sudden, people act like they never fucking heard me trying to get in, and they just fucking come in over top of me. Like, everyone needs to settle down a little bit, bro. Give some space for people to respond. Let some new voices be heard.
Well, Castra is new, and then but Castra, you're new, right? So, he's not talking about Castra. He's talking about Torah. Well, I thought it was talking about Fundy. So, but yeah, they're calling you up, Dice Loaf, if you want to chime in.
Nah, I'm good, bro. Like I said, dude, I don't like getting interrupted, and I don't like interrupting other people. I know it's gonna happen, But we just got to try to be mindful, dude. Like, there's some people in here that have spent years looking into ether.
I think that there's plenty of proof people can see the sun on Christmas Day.
Like, you don't know anything about this model, but let me just put a link for you guys that we have animation for this, that how the sun goes around these two poles within 365 over the days, and it's very, very correct and accurate. We were working on this model for 8 years. It's not something very new. Like, some of you guys probably have seen this model before, but this model, whether you guys like it or not, this is the real model of flat Earth. I've been in this thing for 10 years, and I knew about the 24-hour sun. I warned
Post it. Just post it. I want to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, but and then if you could explain, since we're in VC, how you hold the affirmation that the North Pole is at the center of the rotation of the stars that move east to west for all observers while having 2 points of rotation. I mean, you should. I'll look at the link, but do you have some way you could vocalize that?
More importantly, once you answer that, I have another thing of have you reconciled the sun going straight on an equinox on this model?
Well, that's a very good question. Right, exactly. At the equinox, you would get kind of a very straight line from east to west, right? And the more you get close to equinox, these circles going to be more flattened until exactly the day of equinox. The sun, instead of going around North Pole, once it reaches the edge of the west or the left side of my image, it will, instead of turning around the North Pole, it will start turning around the South Pole. Now, this is going to create. Yeah, exactly. So you're not going to have any kind of straight. Go on.
But hold on, but how do you have it going straight, though, is my question.
There's no straight. There's no straight. We don't have any straight for sun.
On an equinox, it'll go straight.
At the equinox, it will swap. Sorry, it would do a transverse movement instead of making the circle only for that day. Now, these are the 2 days that we have within the 365 days that the sun will switch from north to south. And this is how Hold on.
Is it posted though? I'm not seeing what you're talking about.
Okay, I know this is very hard to say by words, especially if English is not your first language. Well, okay, let's give me a little bit of time.
Yeah, I kiss my ass too.
Okay, yeah, maybe if you post what you're talking about, then people can actually listen to the questions, right? Yeah, so just take your time.
Leslie, I think he's talking about himself, where English is not his first language, dude.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought maybe that I wasn't following him. I just like to see what he's talking about. But a lot of folks, he said he's got a model that works, and that's what I've been looking for. I want to see one that works.
That's hilarious. I kiss my ass. Oh,
yeah, I apologize. I took it wrong.
Well, somebody's talking. Yo, Tor, check out the chat. Now, Gio sent me this originally. I forget what he calls it. There's a name for it. It's got a technical name. But as you can see, where the equator is, the stars seem to be going in the same direction, right? But really, you have an actual counter rotation. You see that? So look at the red circles. See how they both spin in the same direction? But really, it's 2 gears interlocking, and the gears are literally going in the opposite direction.
I just dropped a link for you guys. It's on chat box. It's you can just translate it back to English if you want. And so this is the kind of the counter of the movement of the sun and the rest of the celestial bodies around these 2 poles, basically. And it kind of looks like an apple that has been cut from half. If you cut an apple from half, if you look at the cross section of that apple, you have 2 seeds, and each seed is the center of one lobe. So basically, the Earth that we're living on it has 2 lobes, and you can see those 2 lobes on your sky. You have the northern stars and southern stars, northern pole, southern pole. So basically, this is how the world is symmetrical, and this is why the people went down to that 24 hours experiment. They see the fucking 24-hour sun over there, because anything happens for north would also happen for south. We're living in a symmetrical world. Your body is symmetrical. Everything is symmetrical, and there's 2 poles in reality. You have to respect these 2 poles. You have positive and negative. The Gleason or the AE map, the problem with the map was that it had only 1 pole. It was a monopole map, and we have all crazy explanations for the south pole or for the negative pole. That it's around that pizza thing. Yeah, I'm talking about the previous one. That we have the positive in the middle and south and the negative all around that pizza shape. But this one is actually exactly looks like a magnet. That you have one in north and one in south, and you have these counters of the magnetic field around it. Now, if you look at those white lines, by the way, if you guys scroll down, up and down, you can find other poles related to this model. And one of them is, if you look at one of them, I think you have to come down, you see that with Stellarium software, we have simulate this, that how the sun would have behaved at the equinox, how this H-shaped thing would have been created. If you look at the H-shaped thing with the sun analemma. Basically, it has two lobes. So these two lobes would require two centers. It cannot happen with one center. So one of the mistakes a lot of flat earthers would do, they would think that the sun analemma is unsymmetrical. But if you go at the equator and if you look at the sun analemma, you're going to see that both lobes will be the same size. I think I had this conversation before with Gio. And if you move in south, you're going to see. Yeah, just search for sun analemma in Australia and sun analemma anywhere in the north part of the world. And look there, you can see they're inverted. And if you look at this sun analemma at the equator, bro, hold on. There are all you're going to see that the both lobes are the same size. So
I looked into this deeply one day. I looked really deep into this. And when I looked into this, the larger part of the analemma always represents the December time, December solstice, every single time. Always December 21st at the top of the larger part of the analemma. And then I have a picture from Australia, Ecuador, and I believe New York. And the analemma is all the same.
Okay, that's the thing that we can just leave it by people on the stage. And so next time we can talk about this and see whether the sun analemma at the equator, like countries like Paraguay, Kenya, I don't know, Malaysia, these countries are. So I want you to know that the people over there, if they look at the sun analemma within the 365 days, they're gonna end up with a symmetrical sun analemma. You want to bet on that?
Well, what do you think of the picture I just put in the chat?
I'm just referring to your like that's a picture. Like you can use any software, Stellarium. You can use StarWark. You can travel there and you can look at the sun analemma. And I'm telling you, it's going to be symmetrical at the equator, and that is your problem with the Gleason or the AE map.
I know that you're stating that and you're asserting it.
Okay.
There's not a lot of evidence to support.
Okay, we need to stop here.
Hold on, guys. Let him finish. The other people trying to get it too.
I also came to that idea. I started with that premise as well. And then when I looked into it real far, I couldn't support the premise with a lot of evidence. So I understand you're saying if you go to Ecuador and you live there for a year and you do it for yourself, you're going to see it the way that you've seen it. So if you have that information, please post it.
You can. Do you know how to work with Stellarium?
So yeah, bro, we went through this a couple months ago actually, and Stellarium does show it's not symmetrical at the equator, and there's actual observations of the analemma at the equator, and it's still not symmetrical.
Okay, we can, as I said, we can stop here and we can leave for the people to decide that whatever they want to believe. But as far as I work with Stellarium, I can see a symmetrical pattern in my fucking reality. The Curlius effect is symmetrical. The star trails pretty much look symmetrical. Yeah. So even if you go at the
listen. I literally share my screen on my PC on Stellarium, and all you got to do is take away the brightness of the sun, take away its glory, so you could tell it's definitely not symmetrical.
Okay, do you know what does it mean? It means that the 24-hour sun was a fake thing. Can't you understand that when you have exact behavior of sun in south, like north, you're living in a fucking polarity world, you're living in a symmetrical world. Because the 24-hour sun in Antarctica was exactly looked like the sun in Arctic within two solar systems. So that should be enough for you, bro. Don't try to argue with this. This is a fact that you guys have. And you flat earthers, a lot of you flat earthers have trouble with this 24-hour sun. You don't want to accept this. We need to accept it. This moves exactly the same way that it moves in north. Exactly same pattern. And you have to accept this.
You repeated that a couple times now. We understand that idea that you're portraying. So now, do you know why the globe says the analemma is larger in the south? Or like when you're looking at it, why in December it's larger? Do you know why?
No.
Okay, so that didn't even occur to you to research that fact when you looked into the analemma?
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen.
Okay.
So you're seeing the sun analemma is not related to your perspective. Hold on. Now this is your mistake. I'm going to see this. I'm going to mute that after this Because this is what this is exactly the point that it always would start getting away from all the fire. I'm kind of completely in a different paradigm, to be honest. So you're telling me that the sun and the moon, that midpoint in the middle, right, always stays in that place, regardless to the position of the observer. I'm sorry for your understanding.
When do you think that midpoint is? When do you think it is? What day of the year is that midpoint? See, a lot of people think that's on the equinox, or I'm sorry, that's on like when the sun is traveling the path of, what would that be? The equator, but it's not.
That's true. Yeah, the analemma is never symmetrical on both sides. Its orientation changes, but its shape may change depending on your location too. But the smaller and larger half are always retained.